When you look at India's missile arsenal, you see, well, a lot of different weapons. It's a huge collection. But here's the thing, it's not just a random pile of hardware. Far from it. This is a very carefully designed strategy, a strategy of control, built for one of the most complex and, let's face it, dangerous neighborhoods on the planet. So let's break down what that strategy actually looks like. And that brings us to the central question of this whole explainer. I mean, think about it. Why would a country need one missile that can hit a target just 50 kilometers away and another that can fly over 5,000 kilometers? You've got one that can basically cross a battlefield and another that can cross an entire continent. The answer to that question, well, it gets you right to the very heart of India's entire defense strategy. You see, India faces this unique strategic challenge that's often called the two-front problem. It's not just one adversary, it's two, and they are completely different. To the west, you've got Pakistan. Any conflict there is likely to be fast, intense, and pretty unpredictable. But then you look north and you have China. That's a whole different ballgame. It's a deep, strategic, long-term challenge. And here's the kicker. You just can't use the same playbook, the same tools, for two totally different kinds of threats. So, what did India do? It built something unique, a layered missile doctrine designed to handle both. Okay, so let's start with layer one. We'll call this the tactical layer. This is all about the immediate fight, right there on the border. We're talking about winning the opening battle, what happens in the first crucial hours of a conflict. So for this layer, we're talking about a range of basically 0 up to about 500 kilometers. This is the tactical battlefield. It's the sphere of immediate engagement, where everything, and I mean everything, comes down to speed and precision. The weapons here are things like the Prithvi and Pralay short-range ballistic missiles. And then you have the real game changer, the BrahMos supersonic cruise missile. Now, what does this range actually mean? Well, it means you can hit pretty much all of Pakistan. We're talking key military bases, economic centers, you name it. And when you bring a weapon like BrahMos into the mix, which remember travels faster than the speed of sound, you're not giving your opponent minutes to react, you're giving them seconds. That changes everything. So what's the core idea here? It's pretty simple, really. This layer isn't about ending a war. Its purpose is to win the first 48 hours. The goal is to dominate those opening moments so decisively that you immediately force your opponent onto the back foot. All right, so that's the opening move. Now let's move up the ladder to the next layer. We'll call this the control layer. And this is where things get really interesting. It's the point where pure military power starts turning into some serious political pressure. And you can see the range here takes a huge leap. We're going from 500 all the way out to 3,000 kilometers. We're not just talking about the immediate border anymore, not by a long shot. This is about projecting power deep, deep into the region. The missiles in this category are the Agni-I and the Agni-II. These are medium-range ballistic missiles. And just look at how the target area expands. It's not just about Pakistan anymore. Suddenly you're able to reach Tibet and the entire western part of China. What that really means is that any small, limited conflict now has the potential to escalate, and escalate very, very quickly. And that right there is the key. Having these missiles isn't just about a military option. It's a political message. You're essentially telling any adversary, listen, if you start something, it's not going to stay contained at the border. You're making it crystal clear that there will be strategic consequences far beyond the battlefield. You're raising the stakes for everyone. Okay, that brings us to the top tier, the strategic deterrent. And we need to be really clear about this layer. This is not about fighting and winning a war. This is about making absolutely certain that a major, great power war never even starts. The range here is just massive. We're talking 3,000 to over 5,500 kilometers. And plus, this is true intercontinental reach. This is the ability to strike at the very heart of a rival superpower. The big players here are the Agni-III, Agni-IV, and of course the Agni-V. Now think about the targets. We're not talking about military bases on the border anymore. The target list now includes the absolute core of China's power, major cities like Beijing and Shanghai. Having the ability to do that, well, it completely changes the entire strategic calculation for both sides. And this is probably the most important thing to understand about this entire layer. A missile like the Agni-V isn't really meant to be fired. Its job is to sit there, ready, and act as an absolute guarantee. A guarantee that a country like China simply cannot afford a major war with India without putting its own most valuable cities at risk. It's designed to make the cost of war just unthinkably high. But there's always a but, right? What happens if the other guy strikes first? How do you guarantee your deterrent can even survive to strike back? That's where the ultimate guarantee comes in, the invisible weapon. We're talking about something called second strike capability. Think of it as the ultimate ace up your sleeve. How do you achieve it? You put your missiles on submarines. In India's case, the K-series missiles. These submarines are constantly moving, hidden deep in the ocean. They are virtually impossible to find and track. And the logic is simple. An enemy can't destroy what it can't find. This ensures that even if India took a massive first hit, it would always have the ability to strike back. That, right there, is what makes a deterrent truly credible.
Now, of course, a good strategy isn't just about swords. You also need a shield. And you always, always have to be looking over the horizon at what's coming next.
So let's talk about the shield. India is building a pretty robust, layered air defense network using systems like its own Akash and the famous S-400. The mission is straightforward. Shoot down incoming threats, missiles, aircraft, whatever, long before they can hit their targets. It's all about creating a protective bubble over the things that matter most. On the future? Well, the future is all about one thing, speed. We're talking about hypersonic weapons. These things travel at more than 5 times the speed of sound. That's Mach 5 plus. At that kind of velocity, an enemy's reaction time shrinks to practically zero. Future conflicts might not be decided in hours or minutes, but in seconds. So let's put it all together now. You've got the different layers, the different ranges, the offensive missiles, the defensive shield, that second strike guarantee. When you combine all of these pieces, what do you get? You get the grand strategy. What this really is a ladder of options, a spectrum of responses. It's a system designed to give decision-makers precise control. At the lowest rung, you can defend the borders. Climb a step, you can strike fast and win early. Go higher, you can control the entire region with political pressure. And after very top, you can deter a superpower from even thinking about a war. It's a ladder. And that is the heart of the grand strategy, escalation control.
So when you step back and look at the whole picture, the real takeaway is this. It's not that India just has a bunch of missiles. What India has is control. Control over how a war might start and control over how far it goes. And maybe most importantly, the control to stop one from ever happening at all.